So welcome to my home garden. Today I'm going to be showing you what I'm doing in my home garden in the month of September. If you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. So I grew a selection of herbs, and in particular the basil. It was getting really long and leggy, and it wasn't really bushing out, so it's a really good thing to start cutting those back, and then it will bush out even more. I cut them back a little bit about a week or two ago, and it's already started to bush out, and I had a couple of other long shoots, so I cut those out today, and that will carry on and producing some lovely basil, which is really lovely to add to salads and things. I've genuinely been tidying up my garden. Everything was looking a little bit scruffy, a little bit untidy, and so I've generally given things a little bit of a haircut, given them a tidy up, a little bit of a weed. It's not perfect, but it's lots better than it was. If we move over to my tomatoes, my job now is not to grow more tomatoes, but just to ripen them. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about some common issues in September that you get, with fruit splitting, with tomatoes not ripening, and the risk of blight. Now, I'm not going to go into any detail, because I have put a video together which you can watch, so you can deal with these issues as effectively as possible. So a link will be put in there, so you can click on that and learn how to deal with those tomatoes. Like I say, there are some things you can be doing, which I've done, and one of the things is stripping some of the leaves off, so the tomatoes ripen naturally. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail how that works. If you watch that video, it will give you all the details that you need to be able to do that. So I'm doing that. I'm taking off the excessive foliage. I am still giving them a little bit of a feed, the tomatoes, but not quite so much, because all I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to ripen what I've got. I would much rather ripen my tomatoes on the plant than I would on a windowsill, because it's far more effective if you do it correctly. Like I say, watch the video. My aubergines are still doing absolutely fantastically. I'm so pleased with these. Well worth getting a grafted aubergine, as you can see. So I'm still harvesting these off, and these can still quite easily keep producing really well until the frost. So I'm giving these a really good feed really regularly. I'm keeping them well watered, although we are getting quite a lot of rain at the moment in Kent, so I'm not having to hand water them so much, but it is still really important to give them some feed. Now, I either use a really good tomato feed, or I quite like this Miracle Grow organic fruit and veg one as well. I find that really effective too. We will put a link in the description, because that's a really good all-rounder for lots of vegetables. But I am still watering the aubergines, because I've every hope, whereas with the tomatoes I'm just finishing them off and trying to ripen them, with the aubergines there's no reason why I can't produce more. Although they look quite big, they actually grow really quickly when you keep them well watered and well fed, so you'd be surprised how many you can pull off every week. I'm very surprised, because I've never grown them that well. So if we move over, another thing you can do is keeping an eye on things that are starting to hang over, like this. The weight of the cucumbers has started to hang over. I did have supports in there, but they're not quite enough. So keeping an eye on things and supporting things should you need it, because the last thing you want is for something to go over and for you to lose it. I mean, as you can see, over the last few weeks and months, I've had to support all my tomatoes. In fact, some of them have got double canes on them, one wooden cane, one metal cane, to keep them upright. And same with my aubergines. The fruits have got so heavy, all of my aubergines have got a cane in there keeping them upright, because the fruits were getting so heavy they were listing over, and the last thing I want to do is to lose a plant. Oh, as you can see, where I've been defoliating all my tomatoes, it's quite a bit here. When you're defoliating, if you knock the odd tomato off, it's not the end of the world. You can ripen the odd ones up on the windowsill. But yeah, so I've got to clear that up later. As we move over, the peppers, the sweet peppers and the chilli peppers are doing really well. Again, same as the aubergines, plenty more life left in these yet. Definitely giving them a feed. Now, the leaves are a little bit pale, so I definitely need to give these a feed. Same with the cucumbers. They just need a little bit more feed, where they've been putting so much energy into producing the fruits. But the apaches, which are the really hot ones there, they're all ripening up beautifully, and I've used some of these in hot dishes already, and you only need one of these because they're so incredibly hot. And the sweet peppers, I've even got a lovely big one there ripening to a lovely orange colour. They're absolutely fantastic, and some that are still green. So I'm going to carry on looking after these and feeding them. I've got some different chilies here, the banana chilies. They're a lot milder, and you can almost eat those in their entirety. They're really quite lovely, and some of those I've picked a few off now, but I have got some red ones, but I have actually already been cooking with the ones that had gone red. So they're coming on absolutely fantastically. They've definitely done really well. And as we move over, similar with the cucumbers, still plenty of life left in these yet. I've been getting off bumper crops of cucumbers. I think I've got a really rather large one here. And there we go, that's quite a beauty. That can actually come off if I wanted it to. And I've got lots and lots of small ones growing in there, if you can see, look, down the bottom there. Just needs to fill out a wee bit more. Another full size one. I mean, they sneak up out of nowhere. 1 minute, you know, it's the size of your finger, and the next minute it's ready to pick. So you really do have to keep your eyes on these. The only thing I'm doing with these is, again, still keeping them well watered if it's not raining enough, but do feed them, and you get a little bit of this powdery mildew, which you're going to get a little bit of it. So what I will be doing, I will just take out the ones that are the most affected. It'll do one of two things. It will stop the spread. It'll also create better airflow for the cucumber to function better towards the end of the season, and also help the pollinators get to the flowers as well. So it serves a lot of purposes. It generally helps all round to remove some of these damaged leaves, like I say, to create better airflow and for the pollinators to get in as well. So chickens are doing brilliantly, and I've come over to say hi. Got to say they're the best chickens I've ever had. They are just laying really fantastically. I get, you know, I've only got 4 chickens there, and I get 3 to 4 eggs most days, so I really can't complain at all. They're really well worth having. I've got videos on that too if you want to take a look at keeping back garden chickens as well. They really are quite delightful to have, and always great to have your own fresh eggs as well. So if you've got any questions or queries, or you'd like to tell me what's happening in your garden, that would be really awesome. So please do put your questions in the comments.